Welcome to this clinical walkthrough on an insomnia case for UK MLA, brought to you by Mediate, your 24/7 practice partner.
All right, let's jump right in. Imagine you're in your OCE station. A young man comes in, and right off the bat, he asks for sleeping pills. So, what's your job here? It's not just about diagnosing insomnia. It's about how you handle this request and the entire situation safely.
Okay, first things first, we've got to understand the patient who's right there in front of you. We can't even start thinking about a management plan until we figure out what's really happening.
And bam, right away, you've got a huge red flag. He's not just asking for sleeping pills, he's been taking his mother's. This is a massive safety concern, and you absolutely have to tackle it head on.
So how do we get to the bottom of this? You've got to take a really focused history. We're going to break this down into 4 key areas. And trust me, these 4 points will give you everything you need for your diagnosis and, of course, your management plan. All right, let's look at what you're likely to find. First up, his sleep habits. Just ask a few simple questions and you'll probably hear he's playing video games until 4 in the morning. That's a huge clue right there. Then, you've got to ask about substance use. Don't beat around the bush. You'll find out he's using cannabis regularly. What about his diet? Turns out he's drinking a ton of caffeine. And finally, you circle back to that big one, the medication history. He confirms he's been taking his mom's sleeping tablets. See? Each one of these is a vital piece of the puzzle.
So, you've got all your clues. Now it's time to put them all together and come up with a clear diagnosis that you can actually explain to the patient.
So what are we actually looking at? The diagnosis here is key. This isn't some primary medical insomnia. No, it's all down to his lifestyle choices. His insomnia is really just a symptom of his other habits. The late night gaming, the cannabis, all that caffeine. And explaining it to him this way is so important for getting him on board with the plan.
Okay, this next part is probably the most important bit of the entire station. Seriously, how you structure your management plan is what's going to make or break your score. It has to be safe, it has to be focused on the patient, and it needs to be based on good evidence.
First, you've got to tackle his request for sleeping pills head on. You need to use clear, non-judgmental language, something exactly like this. Using sleeping pills, especially without a prescription, can be risky and isn't the right solution here. See how that works? You're acknowledging what he asked for, but you're also professionally explaining why it's not the right way to go. This shows the examiner that you're putting his safety first. Here's another important point. Don't immediately jump to referring him to a specialist for something like CBT. The problems here are behavioral, right? They can be fixed with some straightforward first-line advice. By saying that cognitive behavioral therapy isn't necessary at this stage, you're showing that you understand the proper stepped care approach for insomnia. So, the heart of your plan is all about lifestyle changes. You're going to lay this out in 5 clear, easy-to-follow steps. First, talk to him about stopping the cannabis and explain how it messes with his sleep quality. Second, cut down on the caffeine and give him a clear deadline, like nothing after 2 p.m. Third, all screens need to be off at least 1 hour before bed. No exceptions. Fourth, he needs a fixed sleep schedule. That means going to bed and waking up at the exact same time every single day, even on weekends. And finally, number 5, give him a sleep hygiene leaflet to take home. This backs up everything you've just said and gives him something to refer to. Now, I know that's a lot to deliver smoothly under pressure in an OSCE, and that's why practice is so key. You can practice this exact case right now. Get objective feedback on mymediate.com.
All right, let's move on to wrapping up the consultation. You want to finish strong, right? A good ending here has 2 parts: good safety netting and a really clear follow-up plan.
So your safety net is that follow-up appointment. You want to say something clear, like, look, I want you to give these changes a real try for the next couple of weeks. If you're still struggling after that, please book another appointment to see me and we can talk about what to do next. That way he feels supported and knows what the next step is. So what's the big takeaway here? How do you ace the station? Remember, your goal isn't just to be a prescriber, it's to be an educator. You're there to empower him with the knowledge and the tools he needs to fix this himself. That approach is not only safer and more effective, but it also shows the examiner that you're a thoughtful, competent doctor. And remember, the best way to get comfortable with this is to practice. You can practice this exact case now on mymediate.com.